Hey, what's going on? I know, it's been a long time, hasn't it? I have had such a fantastic opportunity, though, to get to see the industry from a perspective that I had not known before. And it is a wonderful place to learn because there are so many things going on that we just don't get to see on an everyday basis. There were a lot of things that I didn't know. So I am now working for the ESCO Institute. Wonderful people that I've had partnership with for years. If it wasn't for the ESCO Institute and HVAC Excellence, I would have never understood the impact that I could potentially have on students and in classrooms. I was a technician before that happened, and it was just an opportunity to learn what it was like to be a trainer, to be an educator, and I love it. And so my passion, my mission is to bring all of this information to you, our friends of the industry, so that we can answer questions that you may not have known, because there are a lot of things that we do not know until we are exposed to those. So we are excited to be starting a new program. Did you know the ESCO HVAC show? We are starting in September 1st, and it will be every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And it'll be live, so you can join us by LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We'll announce any other social media platforms that we add as we go along. So make sure to subscribe to those channels and turn on notifications so that we can go live and you can be notified and you can participate with us as well. It'll be a live interaction. And at the end of each of our sessions, once we have talked to industry leaders and professionals throughout the entire process of the HVAC industry, you can ask questions and bring up concerns, and we can have a discussion together on each one of these topics. We're going to cover things like, the biggies, like regulatory compliances, things that are happening in the industry that will affect us directly on the ground, in the manufacturing, in the warehousing, things like A2L refrigerants and A3 refrigerants, how those are going to change the way we look at equipment, SEER2 ratings for all of our new equipment being manufactured starting next year. Lots of big changes. So we'll look at how regulatory compliance and how the industry changes are going to affect everyone individually. We'll look at how these changes affect the manufacturing, because you got to remember, if we are making changes to equipment and to refrigerants going into equipment, that means we have some retooling to do that is going to affect the supply of equipment. A lot of things that we don't always hear about, but we will now. We'll also talk about things like distribution, because in the past we really didn't have to worry too much about flammable refrigerants, but now we're going to have special concerns for handling things like A2Ls and especially these A3 refrigerants, things like R290, which is a purified propane, if you didn't know. And how do we handle those? How do we manage them? Especially now that we can have larger quantities of R290 in equipment. It's getting very interesting, isn't it? And we'll also dive into how these things affect classrooms, because we have all of these new generations of students and technicians going into the industry that have to learn the things that a lot of us grew up with and all of these new changes. And we are here to be that mediator between changes in the industry and how it affects the total industry, everyone, including you. We'll look at how it affects contractors, so we'll get into best practices for handling special refrigerants like A2Ls and A3s. We'll get into tools and techniques. We'll cover a lot when we get here, and we'll talk about special training that may be needed in some of these new aspects of the field. And we want you to join us so that we can learn things that maybe you did not know. So make sure to subscribe, turn notifications on, and we will see you soon on Did You Know? The ESCO HVAC Show.